On today's first round KO, I have Kyzmo in studio with me as we take a look back at the World Cup from this past weekend. We also take a look at the Brewers pre-All-Star break struggles. We also take a look at the All-Star game, which totally happened before we recorded this. Let's get it. Welcome to the most must-hear WSUW sports podcast in history. Welcome to First Round KO. I am your host, KO, a.k.a. Howard J. Dingers, and I am joined in studio today by Mr. Kyle Glenick, a.k.a.
Kenny Tonda.
How's it going, Kenny?
Oh, we're doing good. I'm glad to be back once again
Hell yeah.
on the podcast here.
So, a quick side note. I'm going on vacation this week in the Dells with my family, so we're recording. I'm recording two podcasts today. This one that I'm recording right now, it's going to be going out on Wednesday. Obviously, you're listening on Wednesday, so yeah. So we just got done. Me and Kyle just got done watching the World Cup final. And
Les Bleus.
Wow, what a game.
Les Bleus.
First of all, can we just acknowledge this World Cup was amazing?
Oh, it was fantastic. I think it was honestly a surprise seeing Croatia get so far. It was fantastic. Absolutely. They really played up with France a lot more than I expected them to.
That was a competitive game.
It was a very competitive game.
Even though it was 4-2.
Yeah, and even yesterday's match, the third place match, Belgium versus England, was also a pretty well-contested match from what I hear.
Yeah,
just overall, all the matches.
Yeah, especially because if Harry Kane hits that goal,
it's
it's
a close
at least
game.
a game. Exactly,
yeah,
it's a one goal.
But regardless, I mean, maybe even at that point, Belgium doesn't have the momentum, and they don't get that goal from Hazard in the 82nd minute.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
I mean, it could have went either way, but I mean, yeah. Regardless, this World Cup was really good, and we had a lot of really good games, a lot of really good matchups that were great. I mean, like, even the teams that we didn't think were really going to do too well, they stepped up and they played well. I mean, Croatia is one of those teams. Yeah. This is their first. Was it? I think they said it was their first appearance in a World Cup final ever in history.
Yes, it was their first one because the closest they got was
the third place match.
I think it was in '98.
Yeah, and I think they got third or fourth place.
They lost to France in the semifinal.
Yeah. So
in '98, I believe it was.
So.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I'm thinking. I'm trying to find. Do you have like the scores and stuff and who scored when and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, do we want to talk about the first game? Do we want to talk about Belgium England, or do we just want to go right
we
to?
Both didn't watch it.
Yeah, we both didn't watch it, but I mean, from what I've seen, what I've read up on, I mean, it was a pretty close game.
England pulled in England and they choked.
Yeah, I mean, Harry Kane, granted, it's not only him, but I mean, he stepped up for the rest of this World Cup, and I mean, yesterday he didn't
got
really.
The Golden Boot.
Yeah, I mean, he still won the Golden Boot because I mean, he had the most goals this World Cup, which is still impressive. But I mean, generally, it's just like, if you have a guy like that, the best striker in the world on your team, he should be able to score in these big games.
Especially on their side of the bracket. Like, we were talking about it when we were previewing it. That side of the bracket was really weak.
Yeah, I mean, England, like you said, they just didn't do what they had to do, so they didn't win the game. As simple as that.
They had a whole nation singing coming home.
Yeah,
it's coming home.
Yeah.
And it did not come home.
Yeah.
They came home empty-handed.
Yeah.
Didn't even get bronze.
I mean, yesterday, the goals, I think it's Munier, assisted by Chadley in the 4th minute. That was to make it 1-0. And then Hazard scored, assisted by Kevin De Bruyne in the 82nd minute. And that was pretty much it. Nothing else really happened aside from the Raheem Sterling assisted almost goal by Harry Kane, which he kind of shanked. But I mean, that's really all there was to that game from what I see. There wasn't really anything else too crazy that happened in that one.
Yeah, I just keep looking back that I still think England should have won against Croatia.
Yeah, I mean, but Croatia, like I said, has been playing. They've been very well
in this tournament for sure. So,
hands down.
Yeah. I think that's also what made this whole World Cup so interesting was there wasn't a clear favorite.
Yeah, especially after Germany got knocked out in the first round, and then I mean, we had France and Belgium, but even when Belgium lost to who did they lost?
Belgium?
Yeah, they lost to France, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they did. Yeah.
In the semifinal, yeah.
So, I mean, that was, in my opinion, those are my two teams. I said these two teams are, one of them is going to win. And,
Right.
I mean, France won the big game, and then Belgium won the third-place game. So, I mean, both of the teams that I had, they both won their games.
You were right. We get it.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. It was still great. So yeah, let's talk about this the actual final.
Yeah. So we sat down this morning to watch this game, and I mean, Croatia came out flying. Honestly, it looked like they were gonna take it at first.
They were in control for most of the
for most of the first. Yeah. I mean, until that own goal by Mandzukic, it was,
which I still don't think should have been an own goal.
I don't think it should have been either. I mean, like I was telling you when we were watching it, I mean, Griezmann put it on goal. It was a shot on goal, regardless of if it was going to go in if he didn't touch it.
And that dude tried to block it.
And he tried to block it. It went off his head. I mean, it's just. I mean, it wasn't like he changed the direction of the shot. Really, I mean, it may have glanced off of his head and kind of went top 90. But I mean, as far as like an actual own goal, I don't think that would qualify. I mean, give it to Griezmann. He's got 2 goals in this game. And I don't even know. Let me check real quick, because I think that might have put Griezmann pretty close to, if not.
Because that was a free kick, right?
Yeah, it was off of a free kick. Yeah. Well, hold on.
Yeah, so it was a free kick by Griezmann, and he kicked it, and it got deflected by Croatia into their own goal.
Yeah, I mean, looking at.
But the dude, dude was in the line, and he went up to head. He was blocking other people from headbutting it.
Oh yeah,
from heading it in.
Yeah, and then at first I thought Samuel Umtiti had that goal. Like when we first saw it, we were like, okay, that was his goal.
You could obviously tell that someone headed it in.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But then we saw the replay, and we were like, oh, that went off of Mandzukic. Yeah. All right.
So
but yeah, I mean, it was just. So actually, now that I'm looking at this. Antoine Griezmann had more goals scored in this World Cup than Harry Kane. He had 7. So I don't know. I don't know, but I just checked it, and he had 7 goals. But anyways,
that's interesting.
Regardless, I mean, I still think Harry Kane's hands down the best striker in the world. So I mean, he probably deserves.
And he proved it.
He probably. I mean, he did prove it in the games that he played in. I mean, aside from the one yesterday, but
right.
I mean, it's as simple as that. But I mean, back to the France game where France Croatia.
Yeah. So that was the first goal in the match.
First goal. And then on the second goal, we had Perisic scored on a half volley from about the 18, I think it was.
Right. Yep.
But on this one, we were talking about it, and it seemed like France just could not clear the ball.
Yeah, I'm sitting there. They had a shot, and then it got blocked or it missed or something. Yeah. But then it stayed in the box,
and we were like, okay.
I was even screaming. I was like, clear the ball, get it out of there.
Literally, all you have to do is kick it, and they just couldn't. They couldn't get anything out, and then Perisic takes a good touch to the left and just strikes it bottom right. Yeah. I mean, that shot was great. It was a great. He really made good contact
France
on it.
Just didn't clear it.
They should have cleared it. Yeah, I mean, they should have cleared.
Bad defense by them.
And then, so Perisic scores this screamer of a goal, and 10 minutes later, off of a corner kick, handball in the box. And I mean, this handball has been being debated, but in my opinion, there's no way that it should have been.
To it. No,
because I mean, watching the clip, I mean, you see Perisic, his hand is out. Don't get me wrong, like his hand is already out, maybe in an unnatural position, but at the same time, he goes ahead and just the ball's coming. He looks at the ball and then moves his hand down right in front of it.
Honestly, like you don't. He's got his leg sticking sideways out to block the kick.
Yeah,
and then he's got his arm right above it to also like it. Yeah, he's clearly trying to block.
Clearly blocks it. Yeah. And I mean, they didn't call it at first. They called it a goal kick.
And then they went to review.
But Giroud, I mean, he was leading the charge trying to get this PK. And they eventually got it, which led to the PK that Antoine Griezmann scored off, and followed it with the PK. Take the L Fortnite dance, which is wonderful. Always fun to see that. Yeah, I mean, and then after, so we get then.
So that's towards the end of the
half.
Yep.
Yeah, so 2-1 France at half.
Yep.
And then we go into the second half, and honestly, Croatia came out flying. Luka Modric was
they started the game. They came out of half.
Luka Modric was just. We even pointed out Luka Modric was all over the field.
He was giving
flying.
He was
up in the.
He just seemed everywhere.
Yeah, he was just all over the place, and he was getting touches, and he was creating chances for Croatia. Unfortunately, they couldn't get anything within that. that time. But then Paul Pogba scores in the 59th minute, his first goal of this World Cup, which is wonderful. Finally, it's great to see him score a goal. And on that goal, it was kind of the same thing that we had with France's defense on the Perisic goal. I mean, Pogba puts the first shot on, they block it. I mean, it was a great block, but then Pogba had all the time in the world. It was
so
right at his feet. Yep. Yeah, all the room, all the time in the world, and he just easily just stroked it into the left side of the net.
That one, really, their defense froze. Like, Croatia was not moving.
100%. We were like,
there was like
sitting
5 people just standing there.
He takes the first shot, and we're just like, okay, well, they blocked it, so he's not going to score now. And then he kind of just stood there and was just like, oh,
they all
okay.
And then they all just kind of watched it.
And he just put it in. So
they all grabbed their popcorn and started watching the game.
Yeah, for real. And then, so Pogba, like I said, finally scores his goal.
Pogba should have had 2 goals in this.
He definitely should have. That one in like the... What was it?
Mbappe gave him that feed.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful pass. And, I mean, he should have. It was an easy, just all he had to do was get his foot on it, and it was a goal.
Make one move,
Yeah, that's all. He could have taken a touch.
There was a handball on it, though, we saw after
the we did see that there was the handball, but they didn't call it.
I think he still should have had it.
Either way, I mean, we can't make excuses. He should have that. He should have it. It's easy. You have all... again, he had a bunch of time.
This is soccer. There's an excuse every play.
Yeah, for sure. But, I mean, he just had... Like, that was such a great opportunity. All he had to do was just tap it in, just anything, put something on it, and it's a goal. Yeah. And he couldn't do it, unfortunately.
He scored on the frozen defense. Yeah. So then it's
3-1. And at this point, we're watching the game, and we're a little bit behind because we were streaming, I think, on Fox Sports. Yeah. And Kyle goes, "Oh, I just got a Snapchat. This is about to be great."
My buddy Ryan snaps me he goes, "Mbappe is the future." And the score, I could see the score 4-1, and I was like, dang." But I was like, "Hey, Kyle, watch this."
Yeah, and then Mbappe puts a strike on from right outside the 18 in the 65th minute. Beautiful strike, bottom left corner.
Yeah,
and it really seemed.
It seemed like a simple, like, not great shot.
But at the same time, what I was going to say is, like, it seemed like Subasic, the Croatian keeper, really was favoring the right side of the goal a lot.
Hardcore.
And he was just like, and France found that out. They saw it, and they were putting every shot.
Especially on that Mbappe one, confused me because there was like 3 people in between Mbappe and the right side of the goal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It just seemed like, I mean, he shouldn't need to favor that side.
Mbappe wound up for the kick, and the dude jumped a little right because he was favoring it, and he was leaning left. Yeah. But even on the shot, he didn't go for it because he was too far.
He
right.
literally it goes in. And I just remember he's on one foot and he just falls back. He just sits down,
lays on his back.
That's all he did.
He knows he messed up.
But yeah, and
then at that point it's 4-1.
Yeah, at that point it's 4-1, and we're just like, okay, this isn't even a game anymore.
I just remembered what the next goal was.
The goalkeeping in this game was extremely subpar. I mean, we talked about this too. It was just
so in the first half there wasn't
no
any
saves, not a single save from either goalkeeper. And then they come out the second half. Croatia puts a shot on goal, and I mean, Loris makes a good save. But then in the 69th minute, Mandzukic. So I don't even know what the idea was here. I mean,
he tried to sauce him.
Yeah, he really did. I think that's all it was. Yeah. And I mean, they passed it back to Loris, and he tries to mag Mandzukic, and Mandzukic is just like, at that point when you're a veteran striker like Mandzukic is, there's no way that's getting past you. All you have to do is put your foot on it, which is what he did, and it goes in the goal, and that makes it 4-2. But then after that, it just really, France just kept the ball. They were passing around, and Croatia really couldn't get anything.
Absolutely.
And I mean,
although it did get because especially the announcers made it real clear after that the second goal when it made it 4-2, it was a game.
This 100%.
This is how Croatia got there. It was 100% still a game. Yeah. So but like we said, France did a really good job playing keep away. Yeah. Kept it away.
They parked the bus once it hit 80 minutes.
Parked the bus.
Yeah. I mean, and they just really couldn't do anything. But I mean, I think now, France won the World Cup. Obviously, 4-2 was the final score. We at the beginning of the game were like, Griezmann's scoring, Mbappe's scoring, and then Pogba scored, and we were all just racing. And I mean, it was a good game, and it was really enjoyable to watch. Mm-hmm. And now, as far as when we're talking World Cup now, we can talk about Mbappe how he's 19 years old, one of the best young players.
Crazy.
And France fielded the second youngest squad in this World Cup, and they won. They won the World Cup with the second youngest team.
Yeah, Nigeria.
Nigeria was the only one that was
Yep.
ahead of them.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah, it was great. Mbappe's just insane. That kid
He's
is
wild.
just too good. Like,
Honestly.
he's 19 years old. He's younger than us, and he's playing, which just amazes me. He's playing for one of the best clubs in the world in Paris Saint-Germain in France.
Yeah.
And he's on the now World Cup winning squad of France, which is just insane to me that a guy at the age of 19 is doing this. Like, that's just insane. And we were watching him, just the runs he was making, how fast he is, the pace, the change of pace too.
He can literally. It's the acceleration, really. Like, I don't know. Like I understand. Like, he's got the speed, obviously, but it's so quick.
Yeah, we would see him. He was just dribbling, like, just very lackadaisical, almost looking, and then out of nowhere, just boom, and he's gone. And it was insane. And I mean, as far as the other side, Luka Modric he wins the World Cup Golden Ball, which, granted, to the best player in the World Cup, which, I mean, he kind of, sort of, maybe carried this team.
I kind of like that, though, because the best player isn't necessarily on the best team.
Yeah.
Like, NBA Finals and Super Bowl MVP, all that kind of stuff, they put it to the best player on the best team.
Winning team,
So,
essentially.
So, obviously, LeBron isn't going to win it when the Golden State Warriors, Kevin Durant's going to get it. But I kind of like this.
Yeah,
because
I would agree.
Finals MVP, like the most valuable player of the finals,
Yeah.
is the best, the best player. So, like,
for sure.
Yeah, I always make an argument that LeBron should win.
Yeah.
Especially
Probably,
when he loses.
Well, I mean, like we were talking about before with Modric, I mean, even in this final game, he kept him alive.
Oh,
like,
he was
first half,
the only
like we were
one
talking about. They
alive.
came out flying. Modric came out flying most of all. He's all over in the beginning of the first half.
Yeah, it was
all
all
over
him.
in the beginning of the second half. He was just creating chances, like I was saying. And I honestly, I think he deserves it. Of all the people who deserves the Golden Ball in this World Cup, I mean, Griezmann you could give him a solid argument because I mean he played well, scored 7 goals. He probably, I don't even remember, he probably had a good number of assists in there too.
Yeah. If they did it where they had to, they don't have to, but they picked the player from the winning team.
It had to have been Griezmann.
You say Griezmann?
I think so. Just because, I mean, I feel like I just heard his name so many times this World Cup. I mean, he scored, like I said, scored 7 goals, probably assisted a few. Also, I mean, just his set pieces. He was putting in beautiful set pieces every single time. The runs he was making, even in today's game, he was knocking them past Vida on the right side, just getting past him. But I mean, he was almost outrunning him, but the dude is just bigger than him. So I mean, he was just blocking him off. But yeah, I think maybe Mbappe makes a strong argument because I mean he came out flying in this World Cup too. I mean he had a great year.
I think he's been the big name, especially to come out of this.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and he, like I said, he's already on a big team. So I mean, usually there's somebody from the World Cup who shines, and they're just like, wow, this young guy deserves a shot, and we're gonna give him one. But Mbappe already had one in Paris Saint-Germain, which is fantastic. That's great to see that this kid can step up on a stage like this at the World Cup, even when he can do it. He can do it in club. He can do it on the world stage. And, yeah, just overall, I mean, this game was great, super entertaining to watch. We were even talking about that. Like, some soccer games they just drag on, and it just seems like going on forever.
I'm a fast-paced dude. I like NBA basketball. I like NFL football, Packers and Saints with the high-octane offenses. So soccer's not necessarily my game. But this World Cup,
well, especially the final. I mean,
the final
these
specifically.
Teams were both attacking like crazy the entire
4-2's
time.
High scoring.
Yeah, for sure.
I think they almost tied the record for most goals scored in a final was 7. So they were close to tying it. They were talking about that during the game.
6-goal final with Croatia. And I want to talk about what the guy said. What one of the commentators said after the game. We heard him say that even though France scored 4 goals in this World Cup final, and even though they had multiple players scoring, they did not perform that well.
What?
I just don't understand how you can have a young team like this, who
the only thing that I can think of is the keeper.
I mean, Lloris was making mistakes. He only made probably 3 or 4 saves in the whole game.
There weren't that many shots that actually, were close.
Exactly.
Like most of the shots were just sailed over to the side.
But I just don't understand how you can say that France did not perform well when they scored 4 goals. I mean, I guess they could say that, oh, they only scored 3 and 1 was off of a PK. But, I mean, the first one, Griezmann put in a beautiful ball, and it just happened to go off Mandzukic's head. Honestly, that probably maybe could have went in, regardless of if it got touched or not. And then the handball was just a mistake on Perisic's end.
Right.
You can't blame France for not performing well on that. And even after the handball, Griezmann's got to step up and put it in the goal, which he did. So, I mean, regardless of the way you look at it, you can't say that France didn't perform well.
And especially defensively, like you look at that team, Croatia, like we said, they came out hot. They were running everywhere. They were quick. They were aggressive. And France kept with them.
And to hold them to only one actual, well put together goal. Like the Perisic one. Like just a beautiful touch to the left and a strike with the left foot and put it in.
To only hold them to that after.
To hold them to 2 goals after that entire game of Croatia just attacking and attacking and attacking. Yeah. I mean, how can you say that they didn't perform well?
I honestly don't know.
It just doesn't make sense to me. No. But, I mean, watching that game, both teams performed extremely well.
Honestly, yeah.
I mean, Croatia
There's a reason
stepped
they
up.
both made it to that final, and they proved it.
Yeah,
they both
and
was fantastic.
It was a very good game, very well contested. Attacking was because I hate watching soccer games where both teams are kind of hesitant and don't want to make a mistake. But these teams were taking all the risks in the world that they
knew
possibly
it was the final, and they wanted to
win. And I think that's the only way you can play a World Cup final or a final in any sport. To be completely
honest,
just got
to give it your all.
Exactly, and that's what they did. So I mean,
and I think you could definitely tell. Like I said, I didn't watch the third place game, but I think you can tell just in obviously it's a third place game.
They're
not giving it their all. They're just out there playing soccer, really.
Yeah, essentially, it's almost like a World Cup qualifier,
right?
In that sense,
exactly.
It's because those games, I mean, they mean something, but teams don't necessarily give it their all. They'll play guys who aren't necessarily in their starting 11, but they'll. Right. I mean, regardless, it's just overall great World Cup. Both teams in the final performed very well. And, I mean...
Just so entertaining.
Go
this
France.
Whole World Cup. I watched all the France games.
Yeah.
I know. I made sure to watch all them because Mbappe is just that fun to watch.
Yeah. And Griezmann and Pogba.
Well, yeah, and
Pogba.
Pogba.
And
I love Pogba.
And just that
they were
team
just entertaining.
Was just insane. Yeah.
So I made it a point to watch them. I think I missed... I watched most of the round of 16 matches. And then I missed the next round, a couple of them. But then I watched, semifinals, not the third place, and then the finals.
Yeah.
But it's so entertaining.
Regardless, yeah.
So here's the other thing. I think as far as the United States popularity for this whole World Series go.
World Cup.
World
Series.
World Cup.
Yeah.
As far as that all goes, it was almost a really good thing that the U.S. didn't make it.
I agree.
Because then we had to watch other teams. First of all, we weren't waiting for the U.S. to lose.
Yeah, exactly. We could enjoy what happened.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We got to enjoy all these other teams and not go in with expectations. Yeah. We just got to pick a team to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I thought it was, I don't know if you saw, I think it was Volkswagen commercials. Volkswagen had a whole series of ads where they were like, oh, you should stick with this team because we're England and we're this good and this is all the stuff we have and it's just stuff like that. It was really cool. And I just thought it was oh, the Americans didn't make it? Well, you can come with us, and it was cool. And
great,
like you said, it makes for a really good. I think
it definitely boosted as far as
interest.
The interest was so high, which is weird because we weren't in it.
Yeah, well, and even in past years when the U.S. was in it, it was it's just the patriotism that comes along with it when they're in it. It's because we're all oh yeah, America, let's go, and then they lose and no one cares anymore. But when we're not there, then everyone's oh well, this is still a cool thing and we still want to be about it, but we're not in it, so let's actually stick with it and watch the whole thing. I feel that's kind of what happened, which is cool. And I mean, next year, hopefully, which. I mean, we could talk about, or not next year, but the next World Cup.
Right, because next year is the Women's World Cup.
Yes. Next year, the U.S. will be in there for sure.
Yeah.
Our women's team is good. Our women's team is good. But, I mean, it'll just be...
But the next cup.
But the next cup,
Qatar.
In Qatar in December.
2022, right?
Yeah, something like that. But I mean,
it's in December.
It's in December because
it's still
going to
be like 90 degrees in December.
That
Wild.
World Cup, I hopefully this happens again. I mean, hopefully, I mean, not hopefully that the U.S. doesn't make it, but hopefully the interest keeps on rising, especially because the 2026 World Cup will be in North America. And
I'm so excited.
If us in the U.S., if the U.S. can rally behind the World Cup, it could be a special thing in North America.
Oh, absolutely. I think. Well, and the home team always, Russia this year, they were not a good team.
And they made it to the quarterfinals?
Quarterfinals.
And they lost to
Croatia.
Yes.
Yes.
They lost to Croatia.
Yes. But the home team always gets a boost.
Yeah,
they
for
always,
sure.
obviously, home field.
Yeah, for sure.
The reason I was freaking out there, Travis Shaw just belted a home run. Let's go.
But yeah.
Ding Dong City.
All right. So.
Yeah. Speaking of.
Yeah.
If that's all you have on World Cup.
I mean, just final thoughts on the World Cup. Bam. Great World Cup. I was honestly surprised coming into it. I remember, I don't know if you remember, even back in the Hawk Talk days, I was saying how this World Cup wasn't going to be that great because it was there's not any real dominant teams.
Yeah, actually.
But at the same time, I mean, that almost made it better. I mean, there
Absolutely.
wasn't any dominant teams,
So
and it was very competitive, and any team could have won. And France ended up pulling it out. Les Bleus, they got it. So yeah, on to the next one.
It made a soccer fan out of me. For sure.
Good.
I'm going to watch more.
Good.
Especially because now I understand the rules.
They can be a little confusing at first.
Yes, but I definitely... Oh, Paris is up. Yeah, it's definitely... It caught my eye now, so I'm definitely a fan. So speaking of the Brewers, we need to talk. Because...
We are hashtag mad about it.
Hashtag mad about it. So, yeah... I'm really mad about it because our All-Star slump is happening before the All-Star game.
The All-Star game. We've lost
5 in a row.
5 games in a row.
The game, like I said, we're recording on Sunday, so the game is happening the last game before the All-Star break is happening right now, which we haven't really lead, so that's decent. We'll see how we hold it. That gives me hope because you remember the last 3 days.
Oh, yeah.
Every time. Look at that. Brewers are losing.
4-1.
Yep. Look at that.
Yep.
So this gives me a little bit of hope. But anyway, so they've now dropped 5 in a row as of today.
Cubs are now in first place.
Cubs are in first place by a game and a half. But here's an interesting little tidbit. 2 years ago, the Cubs were in first place in a tight race with the Brewers and the Cardinals. Mm-hmm. Very similar situation.
Okay.
They got swept by the Pirates in the last series before the All-Star break.
And
then went on to win the division.
And
so if that 1 year historically tells us anything, I just thought that was funny. My Cubs fan friend told me that. He was like, well, we got swept by the Pirates. I was like, okay, good. It gives me hope, I guess.
Maybe.
But I don't know. It's just I always do this.
Yeah.
I look to the pitching.
Yeah.
Because the last few games have been 6-0 or 6-2, I think was one of them.
Yeah.
I saw 8 runs in one of them.
It's just the starting pitchers and even the relieving pitchers that we have right now just aren't pitching as well as they have been all season, or even they're just not pitching too well.
Honestly.
I mean, we definitely should make a move, get another starting pitcher.
We need to.
Some sort of something.
MLB keeps saying, trade rumors, they keep saying that we're looking for a reliever.
Why, though?
Why would we get a reliever and not a starter?
We have Hader, which I guess might not be considered a reliever, but we have relieving pitchers.
We have relievers.
We need
2 reliever pitchers in the All-Star game.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus Knievel, who's solid.
Yeah. So we don't need relievers. I don't think we need relievers. I mean, our best starting pitchers are on the DL right now.
I was going to say, our best one has not played yet this season.
It's not.
Hopefully, God, I hope he comes back.
Yeah.
Soon, at least.
Yeah. But, I mean, the other thing that we talked about this earlier, too, is the Brewers seem to be leaning a lot on the power side of hitting and offense. I mean, when you
Which
have...
is normal for a Brewers team.
Yeah, but it's not necessary.
But it doesn't
when
work.
You have
Exactly.
Why do you have Eric Thames leading off when you have guys like Yelich and Kane?
Don't get me started on Eric Thames leading off.
And I mean, even Jonathan Villar could lead off.
He led off the game that I went to.
That's
and
what
I was
I'm saying.
Because you get a guy with a decent average, a good on-base percentage at least.
And a guy with a little bit of speed.
Dude's so fast.
Yeah.
Like, it's incredible how fast he is. So you get him on base so that when Eric Thames
comes up,
blasts a home run,
exactly.
there's more people on base.
But
that's why Aguilar's so
when you have
deep.
Eric Thames leading off, he comes up and swings for power, swings for the fences, and either strikes out or grounds out or flies out every single time.
Okay, leadoff hitters are supposed to be quick
guys.
Lorenzo Cain is the typical leadoff hitter because he's got a high on-base percentage, he's got a high average, and he drives a lot of walk, and he's really quick.
Yeah.
And he can hit home runs.
Yeah.
But that's not his job as a leadoff hitter. Your job as a leadoff hitter is to get on base, to feel out the pitcher, especially the first inning, feel out the pitcher, get a couple pitches gone, and then get on base. For the better hitters that are coming, Yelich and Aguilar, and Shaw. I don't know. I hate everything.
It's just
leadoff. It's the only thing that really makes me mad about Counsell. Like it's really the only move that I've ever
made that hasn't worked out in our favor.
And I'm not alone. Like I've been saying this for a long. I've been saying that they did this last year with Thames too. So I've been saying it for a while, and apparently I'm not alone. Like I see it on the internet a lot recently. Like a lot of Brewers fans are upset that Thames leads off. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. So like we were saying, I mean, you shouldn't have a guy whose thing people know Eric Thames for hitting home runs. He's a big dude who hits home runs. That's what Eric Thames is. People don't look at Lorenzo Cain and think, this guy hits home runs. He's a big power hitter.
He has 6 on the year right now.
Yeah, but
compared to
how many
Thames
singles does he have?
19.
How many base hits does he have? How many doubles does he have? I mean, those are the kind of guys you need to lead off.
Oh, I completely
As guys who
agree.
get on base, get doubles, get singles,
Lorenzo
get in scoring
Cain
position.
Has a 297 average. I don't know what Thames is because he's hurt right now.
Yeah, but I mean,
thank God, because now he can't lead off when he's on the DL. I've been saying this too. We talked about this Friday when we were playing softball.
Yep.
I think we should trade Eric Thames.
I mean, yeah.
And your dad does make a good point where like I don't think his stock would drop too much
because he's been consistent. He's been
unless
solid.
he keeps getting hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been hurt twice now this season. Yeah. That's why I just think.
Well, and
he's
like
a big enough name
that we could
trade him and get good quality quality pitcher.
Yeah,
or even another player.
We don't need a first baseman anymore. We have Aguilar who can play or who does play first base. We have Braun who can play first base. And we have utility players.
We have Brad Miller who can play anywhere. Hernan can play anywhere.
Yeah.
We have utility players.
So it's not necessary to have. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Thames. He's a cool guy. I like having him on the roster. Right. He's fun to watch. But
from a managerial standpoint and a roster standpoint, it just doesn't make sense to necessarily. And we're good without him.
Yeah,
we obviously don't need him.
Yeah.
When he was gone for that big time was when Aguilar went on his All-Star thing. And we're doing, I don't know.
Yeah, but
I'm mad about it.
That's what we're mad about today.
I'm just mad about the Brewers
losing
in general.
5 games. Yeah, losing 5 games in a row.
First of all, Marlins.
Yeah, how did we drop 2 games to a team who can't even fill half of their stadium?
There were 10 people.
There was literally, you would look. I watched the end of both of those games.
You can see it in all the highlights. Yeah,
they literally. There was no one in the upper deck. In even the second section, there was nobody.
You could see it. I think Sam Decker tweeted it. The picture of, the telecast behind the pitcher. You can see behind home plate.
There was literally 10 people.
I think there was less than 10 people behind home plate, which is insane.
And we lost 2 games to them. And they were both close games, too. And it's like
they're at the bottom of their division.
Yeah.
We should not be losing to them.
They are possibly the worst team in the National League.
Honestly.
I think they have the worst record.
Them
in
the
the
Reds.
Currently. It's just we shouldn't have lost to the Marlins. And then we come into
Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's not in the division race.
No,
the division race is the 3 teams. I mean, they're close.
St. Louis, Chicago, and
I shouldn't say that. They're close to
They're right
Seattle,
behind,
but like right now it's basically us and Chicago, and then St. Louis is there.
Yeah.
So they're kind of, but still, we
shouldn't be losing games to the Marlins and then the Pirates. Just
especially so many. Like I get dropping a
game
series,
or two. That's fine.
Going
but
2-1 in a series.
Yeah.
But losing 5 in a row now.
Yeah.
It's bad.
It just shouldn't happen.
I said this. I tweeted this. I said I can't believe I'm saying this as a Brewers fan.
Yeah.
But I'm actually really looking forward to the All-Star break for the Brewers because they need it at this point.
Well,
and I think Kane, Yelich, Aguilar, Hader, and Jeffress are 5 All-Stars. They're going to get to go relax in D.C., play the All-Star game, have some fun. Aguilar, I think, is going to win the home run derby. But yeah, they get to go have fun, and then they get to bring that energy back to the team.
And especially with five of your dudes, and these are like your top guys too, obviously, because they're in the All-Star game.
Your 2 top relievers who have given us the best bullpen in baseball.
We have 2 very solid,
and then basically
and
our
Kane.
top 3 hitters.
Yeah,
like literally 1, 2, 3 in our lineup.
Yeah, and I mean it makes sense.
I think it's
going to
be
they
a
both
good.
Deserve it,
and I hope.
Or they all deserve
I hope Shaw takes 24 hours straight of ground balls and throws to first base because this dude. Was like I feel like he was a Gold Glove candidate last year.
Yeah,
because he's an underrated defensive player. But this year he's had I want to say 3 or 4 errors in the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's not good,
especially
at a major league level.
It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, so I hope he does something over the All-Star break to fix that. Other than that, I don't know. I really like our depth.
Yeah,
and how much we play different players. We got 2 different dudes. Saladino and Orf, who can play shortstop while RC is not, while he's working on his swing in AAA.
Yeah.
We have Perez and VR, who always play second, and then Shaw. Perez sometimes plays third for Shaw, but Shaw's at third. And then I really like Pena as a catcher.
Yeah,
he's great.
But even Nottingham isn't too bad.
Yeah, but Nottingham's a third because we got Kratz.
Yeah, Kratz isn't too bad.
I don't mind Kratz. He's a power hitter.
Yeah.
He's gonna strike out or hit a home run.
Yeah, one of those things.
But I really do like our depth. So like if we can actually get pitching, like it's really our starting pitching.
That's what it comes down to.
It's always been our starting pitching.
Yeah.
The only time it wasn't our starting pitching was when we had Zach Greinke.
Yeah. And now we don't. So.
And now obviously we don't. And we need to make a move.
Yeah.
I don't know when the deadline is. It's got to be soon. It's usually around All-Star break. It's usually after. I wonder if it's like next week coming up. It's something. It's usually pretty close to All-Star break, so I think it's coming up. So yeah, we're mad about it. Yeah, we're mad about it. Hashtag mad about it. So real quick, I thought it would also be fun since we're recording this on Sunday
before
the All-Star break. I think it'll be fun to predict what happens in the All-Star, not only the game but the home run derby.
Let's pull this up.
Yeah, pull up the
bracket.
And then I'll pull up the All-Star lineup.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have some fun. We're gonna go through and we're gonna talk about the home run derby like we've seen it. And by the time this comes out on Wednesday, by the time you're listening to this, it'll probably all be wrong. It'll all have happened and it'll look terrible. But I think this is gonna be fun. I think it's gonna be a fun segment.
For sure.
All-Star lineup.
Yeah.
Lineup 2018.
Okay, come on.
So I know Jesus Aguilar is the number 1 overall seed for the home run derby. We'll start with the home run derby.
He will face Rice Hoskins.
Who is Rice Hoskins, first of all?
Of the Philadelphia Phillies.
Oh, yep. Yeah. Okay. What position is he?
Maybe
outfield. He's got to be.
Yeah, I think. But anyway.
Anyway, yeah. Jesus versus Hoskins.
Yeah, and then we got 2 versus 7. The 2 seed being Bryce Harper of the Washington Nationals.
Overrated.
Versus
sorry.
The 7 seed of Freddie Freeman from the Atlanta Braves.
I think that's an upset.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. And then we have 5 versus 4. We got Kyle Schwarber versus Alex Bregman.
I love Alex Bregman.
Yeah.
He's a fun player.
Oh,
he's 100%. A fun player to watch for the Astros. Sure.
And then we have the 6 seed in Javier Baez versus the 3 seed of Max Muncy.
What team is he on?
The Dodgers, I believe. Yeah, Dodgers.
That's so weird. I've never heard. I feel like I think of the Dodgers. I don't think Max Muncy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Jesus Aguilar dominates the first round against Hoskins.
Too. I think we talked about this too, is because a lot of guys go into the home run derby and their swings get messed up because they're hitting home runs. They're not hitting fast pitches. But
have you ever looked at Jesus Aguilar's swing? Like, for real though, like if this was a video podcast. So this dude, he's so relaxed. He literally stands straight. He's just standing there, batting his hands like up against his chest. He's just standing. And then when the pitch comes, he stiffens up a little. He bends his knees. And then crack. Yeah, but like his swing still, it's like right at his chest. His bat's still on his shoulder. It's one of the most simple swings I've ever seen. Which is making him so that's what makes him so successful, I think.
Yeah.
And he's just a smart dude. But so I don't think he can mess up.
I don't think so
because
either.
he hits home runs so effortlessly.
Yeah.
That one.
Well,
I remember.
I think I saw. I don't know if it's the same one I don't know
the
if
home run?
we might be thinking of the same one.
The one where he hit the bottom of the scoreboard.
No, that's not what I'm talking about, but that one was insane.
Dude literally hit the advertising, the Miller Lite sign under the scoreboard in center field.
Yeah.
Holy crap. And it was a line just oh my God. Dude's incredible.
Yeah, the one I'm thinking of is I think it was on an 0-2 count, which is Jesus Aguilar just loves for whatever reason.
He's terrible in the first two pitches, and then this 0-2 count.
0-2 and bang, it's a home run damn near every time.
I love it.
Don't know if I can say that.
Yeah, you can. It's fun.
Anyways, the one I'm thinking of is I was watching a game. I believe it was an 0-2 count. I don't remember who they were playing, but it was a pitch in on his hands, and he swings and he just crushes it. It was a bomb. It shouldn't have been a home run. I don't know why he swung at the pitch. It was way inside, and he still just destroyed it. I don't know how, but he did it. And things like that is just what makes me think there's no way this guy doesn't advance.
Like, and obviously, and that's why I'm so excited that there's two Cubs in the Derby.
Yeah.
Because the Derby does, there's no lie that it does mess up your
swings.
Prince Fielder, he's a good example. The other two Brewers, Corey Hart and Ricky Weeks, they were bad after the home run derby. Ricky Weeks,
swung and missed.
How do you swing and miss? It's okay, but yeah, I'm saying Jesus Aguilar dominates that first round, and then staying on the left side.
Schwarber versus Bregman. I mean, this one could go either way.
It really could. I'm gonna say
I want Bregman. Personally,
I'm gonna say Bregman. Because I think I don't know. I don't like Schwarber.
But do we want Schwarber to go on farther so he gets more bats?
I know. No, I'm gonna say because we're looking at this because it already happened 2 days ago. I'm gonna say Alex Bregman clutched it up. I mean, I guess is he batting? How does this work? Does he bat first or those?
I think the higher seed goes first. I want to say.
Okay. I think Schwarber comes up short. I think he pops up too many. Okay. Yeah, I think Bregman gets it by like 2 or 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And we got Bryce
Harper
versus side,
Freeman. Freeman. I think Freeman definitely upsets him.
I think so too. I mean,
this is a lefty matchup. I kind of like this. That's interesting. I like Freddie Freeman. He's playing really good ball lately.
And I remember we talked about this too. Freddie Freeman is possibly the most underrated player in the MLB.
Because he's been dominating basically since his rookie year.
Since he came in. And it's like, this guy is such a good baseball player.
He's so good.
But nobody knows. Like, because he's on the Braves. And
which sucks.
It's really a shame.
But now that they're getting the spotlight now. Like, I think, honestly,
with
he's
Ozzie Albies too. I mean,
exactly. Honestly, I think Freeman's my MVP. If Aguilar doesn't get, I think Aguilar's up there, but I think Freeman's my MVP right now.
Agreed.
I think
like he's coasting. He's riding low on there, and he's
like at a 7 seed. That's disrespectful.
Yeah.
Put Javier Baez above Freddie Freeman. That's disrespect. I think Freeman. I think he beats him. I think he beats Harper by 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Yep. Because it happened already. So he definitely did. He definitely beat him by 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Max Muncy and Javier Baez.
I'm just gonna go with Baez just so he can.
So that he can swing more. Honestly, no. Javier Baez is an impressive player.
Yeah. Watching him play is actually. I mean, even as a Brewers fan, I went to a game. I went to the Brewers play the Cubs, and I mean, watching some of the Cubs players, even though I am a Brewers fan, is fun. I mean, especially Javier Baez.
Obviously, they won a World Series,
to watch.
They're a good team.
I mean, and he just has a fun time when he's playing.
Exactly,
which is always fun. They're always good to watch. I think he wins.
I think Muncy should not be a 3 seed.
Yeah. I mean, he's a power hitter, but You have never heard of him, so
Exactly. Like, that's saying something that I haven't heard of him.
okay. So
now we got in the semifinals
versus Bregman.
Bregman versus Aguilar.
Yeah, this is not a question. Again,
Aguilar destroyed Bregman. He 10 runs.
Yeah, 10 home runs over him.
10 home runs. What a dominating performance in those semifinals. Yeah,
he 10-balled
it was a mercy ruling.
All right, then we have Freddie Freeman versus Baez. Freddie Freeman.
It's a 6 versus a 7. I love it. Yeah, Freddie Freeman.
Freddie Freeman.
He's just on fire. So now we got the battle of the first base. Freddie Freeman and Jesus Aguilar.
Jesus Aguilar takes it, hands down.
By he surprisingly he won it by 3. Yeah,
we'll
he won it by 3 runs. So Jesus Aguilar, second Brewers first baseman to win a home run derby in the past.
Good
what
stuff.
Was it like
That's
8
what I
years?
like to hear.
Yeah, great stuff. I love it. Way to bring it home, Jesus.
Yeah.
God, this is gonna look bad.
Also, I didn't realize that he had braces until like this week.
He is one of the best looking dudes with braces.
I know. I was looking at him and I saw him smile mid game. He was on the plate and he opened his mouth or something. I looked at my dad. I was like, Dad, does Jesus Aguilar have braces? And he goes, No, it's just a mouth guard. No, and then I remember I was watching the video for like the We Believe in Jesus campaign. Yeah. And then he started talking. I was like, he definitely has braces. And I was like, that is awesome. I love to see that. That is just, I don't know why it's awesome, but it's awesome. Just anything that Jesus Aguilar does is awesome.
Oh, absolutely. I love it because I saw a picture or like a gif of him smiling with braces. And I was like, oh, that's an old picture. And then it wasn't. It was like from I think it's funny. He pulls it off really well.
I agree.
So, and now we're going to look back at because this is Wednesday, we're looking back at the All-Star game that totally happened. Yeah. And wow, did the National League just dominate. The National League just Freddie Freeman hit a home run. Nolan Arenado obviously is a beast at his defense. He made a couple diving plays. And then all of our Brewers came off the bench here and just plugged them
in a home run.
Yeah, Aguilar
hit a home run.
Yeah,
Kane hit a home run.
Kane didn't hit a home run. Good
he hit
joke.
it inside the park home run.
Yeah. So, obviously the Brewers. And then Hader comes in and strikes out the side.
Okay, so you're 100% joking, though, right? Because the American League won, right?
Yeah, you caught me. The American League roster is just so good,
look at this. We got Salvador Perez at catcher, Jose Abreu at first. Shout out Connor Moore, White Sox.
Hey.
Jose Altuve from the Astros at second base.
MVP.
Jose Ramirez from the Indians at third. Manny Machado at shortstop, future Brewer.
Going to get traded. Oh, don't say that. Oh, no.
I hope not, actually. Then we got Mookie Betts, who is right now one of my favorite players in the MLB.
He's so good. I
I just love that man. I don't know what it is about him, but he's fantastic.
And then we have the man who hit 3 home runs in the All-Star game yesterday, Mike Trout.
And then Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Who also hit 3 home runs. And then JD Martinez, who always also hit 3 home runs.
Yeah. So I was joking. The American League won. I'm sad about it.
They blasted them.
Mad about it.
Destroyed them.
We could have 2 mad about it's today.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Anyway,
I do like a lot. Like because I'm a Brewers fan, I tend to I like a lot of American League teams just because we don't play them that much.
Yeah.
So like. Astros, I liked once they left. They were bad. So then I liked seeing a bad team. Jacksonville. I like seeing them get better. But Mike Trout's my favorite player, almost of all time.
Yeah.
And he's so entertaining to watch. Yeah. Manny Machado's entertaining. Mookie Betts, like you said, he's been great lately.
He's got the best batting average in the league.
He's up there,
like 430 something. I'm pretty sure
Is
it's
he
like
in the
insane.
400s?
I think it's like
No.
crazy. The last time I checked, I could have sworn that's what
hey,
it
look
said.
at that. Brewers are losing.
Oh, of course they are. Why'd you have to say that?
I'm
We're
sorry.
mad about it.
We're mad about it. 6 in a row.
Okay, I need to check this right now.
Yeah,
I could have sworn I thought that's what I saw.
Gene Segura was up there,
Okay, never
too.
mind. 362, which is still insane.
Gene Segura's up there, I'm pretty sure.
Mookie Betts. Altuve's 335. Martinez. Segura's at 324.
Yeah. He was at like 340 at one point. He's a great player as a former Brewer. Yeah, I like seeing him.
I'm glad he won the final vote for the American League too.
I agree.
I voted for him.
I definitely did too.
I was like, former Brewer. Let's go. He was one of my favorite players when he was on the Brewers.
He was great.
Too.
Yeah.
I
liked him a lot. I didn't like getting rid of him, but
no, not at all.
Shit happens. And Verlander coming in off the bench to just dominate like he does in the All-Star game. Yeah. Chris Sale obviously dominate.
That nasty slider that It was literally about to hit the guy.
It was going
at him. He turned away, and it goes just in the bottom corner.
Dirty.
It's just,
It was dirty.
That was just, I remember seeing that, and I was just like,
Overall, though,
fun stuff.
Overall, though, entertaining All-Star game. Yeah. Always fun to watch. Yeah. Sadly, the American League won. The American League team took it. They blew him out of the water. That's fine. It's whatever. Yeah. Hashtag mad about it.
Just the whole time. We're mad about everything.
So yeah, now with the All-Star break in the rearview mirror, we get to look forward to the trade deadline, which, as a sports fan, trade deadlines and free agency openings are my two favorite days of any sports league season. They're so fun.
It's just fun to see.
Especially NBA with Woj bombs and then Schefter in the NBA or in the NFL. They're just so fun. I can't wait. I can't wait for all the wild and unnecessary trades that the Yankees are going to make, and everything's just going to happen. It's going to be fun. But we get to look forward to that now. I think
that's all we got for the day.
I think that's all we got. Kyle, thank you for coming on.
Of course. Always a pleasure.
Yep. It was fun. I really like recording like this.
Yeah. it's a good time.
It's fun.
I feel like it's easier too.
Oh, absolutely.
For sure.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. This podcast is available on SoundCloud and YouTube. Just search First Round KO. Subscribe. Leave me a comment. Go follow me on Twitter, Olsen2K18. Kyle, you want to plug your Twitter real quick?
It's just my name, Kyle Glanik. You probably won't know how to spell that. Kyle put it in the bio for you.
Oh, yeah. It'll link in the description.
Yeah, you'll figure it out.
I'll throw it in there.
Shouts out.
Yeah, shouts out. Remember, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Go shoot your shot. See you guys on Friday.
Things are getting eerie like the Lakers down in Michigan. Had a good year, kinda tired, word to Michelin. At the finish line, go get the checkered flag. Take a couple more shots, that's extended mag. I don't mean to brag, you smell this in the bag. I pull up solo at the function, I'm a tennis stag. Stone cold bachelor, acid rapping chancellor. Couple years an amateur, but never had a chance where you see me as a challenge.